Mia slammed the brakes so hard, the car skidded sideways across the rain-soaked road. The woman standing in the headlights did not move. She was barefoot, pale, smiling, and she was holding Mia's missing phone. "No," Mia whispered, gripping the steering wheel. She had thrown that phone out the window nearly 20 miles ago, after it started receiving photos from an unknown number, photos taken from behind her car while she was driving. The woman slowly raised the phone to her ear. At the exact same second, Mia's Bluetooth connected automatically. A voice filled the car speakers. "You were not supposed to stop." The headlights flickered. For one impossible moment, the road ahead was empty. The woman was gone. Then a wet hand slammed against the driver's window beside Mia's face. Not outside. Mia Carter had always hated driving at night, but missing her sister's funeral would have been worse. The storm had forced the highway closed 2 hours earlier, leaving her stranded in a dying roadside town somewhere deep in northern Arizona. The motel clerk, an old man with shaking hands, told her there was another route through the mountains. "A little longer," he'd said without looking at her, "but nobody uses it anymore." Now, just after midnight, Mia regretted listening. The abandoned road stretched endlessly through black forests and jagged cliffs, with no gas stations, no houses, not even road signs, only endless rain hammering against the windshield and static crawling through the radio speakers. She kept checking the rearview mirror for reasons she couldn't explain. Every few minutes, she felt certain another car was behind her. But whenever she looked, the road was empty. Mia tried distracting herself by calling people, but the signal disappeared an hour ago. Her GPS froze soon after. The screen stuck on the same blinking message, recalculating route. Even stranger, the clock on the dashboard hadn't changed in nearly 40 minutes. 12:13 a.m. Still 12:13. Her exhaustion wasn't helping. She hadn't slept properly since her younger sister Lily drowned 3 weeks earlier. The guilt still clawed at her constantly. Was supposed to pick her up that night, supposed to answer the phone. Instead, she ignored Lily's calls. Now every dark stretch of road felt like punishment. A sharp crack suddenly echoed above the car. Mia flinched and looked up. Something heavy had landed on the roof. Then came the slow sound of footsteps, walking directly over her head. Mia froze as the footsteps continued above her car. Slow, heavy, deliberate. Rainwater dripped down the windshield while her breathing became shallow and uneven. She wanted to look up through the sunroof, but every instinct screamed not to. Then the footsteps stopped directly over her seat. Silence. A long, unbearable silence. Suddenly, the radio burst alive with deafening static. Mia gasped and covered her ears as voices began whispering beneath the noise. At first, they sounded distant, almost impossible to understand. Then one sentence became clear. "She knows you left her." Mia's stomach tightened. "No," she whispered. "No, no, no." The voice sounded like Lily. The radio died instantly after that. Mia slammed her foot on the accelerator. The car surged forward down the abandoned road while branches clawed at the sides of the vehicle. She refused to check the roof, refused to think about what might still be up there. 10 minutes passed, or maybe 30. She couldn't tell anymore. The rain outside suddenly stopped without warning. 1 second the storm was roaring, the next there was complete silence, not even wind. That was when Mia noticed the gas gauge, empty. She stared in confusion. The tank had been nearly full earlier. Her headlights flickered weakly as the car rolled past an old wooden sign half hidden by weeds. "Welcome to Ash Pines. Population 312. Mia slowed the car. She remembered passing that exact sign before, an hour ago. No. Panic rose in her chest. She pressed harder on the gas pedal, but the road ahead twisted through the same dead trees, the same broken guardrails, the same shattered mailbox leaning sideways in the mud. She was driving in circles. Then she saw someone standing beside the road, a police officer. Relief flooded through her instantly. She pulled over so fast, the tires sprayed gravel across the pavement. The officer stepped toward her window slowly, flashlight lowered at his side. Rainwater dripped from the brim of his hat, even though the storm had already stopped. "You shouldn't be out here," he said quietly. Mia almost cried from relief. "Thank God, I think I'm lost. My GPS stopped working and..." The officer didn't blink once. His pale eyes stayed fixed on her. Then he asked, in a calm, empty voice, "Why did you leave your sister in the lake?" Mia's blood turned cold. What?" The officer slowly lifted his flashlight toward his own face. Half of his skull was crushed inward. Rotten lake water poured from his mouth as he smiled. And Mia realized something horrifying. She had never rolled the window down. Mia screamed and jerked the steering wheel violently. The car spun across the wet pavement, narrowly missing the guardrail before crashing sideways into a ditch. Her forehead slammed against the window hard enough to blur her vision. When she looked back toward the road, the police officer was gone. Only the flashlight remained, standing upright in the middle of the road, still shining directly at her. Mia forced herself to breathe. "This isn't real," she whispered shakily. "I'm exhausted. I'm hallucinating." But deep down, she knew that wasn't true, because her phone suddenly rang. No signal bars, no caller ID, yet the screen displayed a name she hadn't seen in weeks. Lily calling. Mia's hands trembled so badly she nearly dropped the phone. The ringing stopped. Then came a voicemail notification. Timestamp 12:13 a.m. The same frozen time from her dashboard clock. Heart pounding, Mia pressed play. At first, there was only heavy breathing and splashing water. Then Lily's terrified voice whispered through the speaker. "Mia, he followed me into the lake." Static crackled violently. "He's in the back seat." Mia stopped breathing. Very slowly, she looked into the rearview mirror. At first she saw nothing except darkness. Then two pale eyes opened behind her. A man was sitting in the back seat. His skin looked swollen and gray, like flesh left underwater for days. Mud and black water dripped from his hair onto the seats. His jaw hung unnaturally wide, exposing broken teeth packed with weeds. And he was smiling directly at her. Mia lunged for the door handle and stumbled out of the car into the freezing night air. Gravel tore into her knees as she fell. Behind her, the car doors unlocked one by one. The back door slowly creaked open. Mia ran. Branches slashed her face as she sprinted blindly into the forest beside the road. Her lungs burned, but she could still hear wet footsteps following behind her at a steady pace, never rushing, never slowing. Then came Lily's voice from somewhere deep in the trees, crying, begging, "Mia, please help me." Mia froze instantly. The voice sounded real, too real. "Mia." She turned toward the darkness and saw Lily standing between the trees, soaked, pale, shivering, but something was wrong. Lily's feet weren't touching the ground. She was hanging several inches above it, as if invisible hands were holding her upright. Then, Lily slowly raised one trembling finger and pointed behind Mia. Mia turned. The drowned man was standing only inches away from her face, and this time, he was wearing her father's old wedding ring. Mia stumbled backwards so fast she fell against a tree, her mind refusing to process what she had just seen. Her father's wedding ring, impossible. Her father had died 11 years ago. His body was never recovered after his truck plunged into Blackwater Lake during a storm. The police called it an accident, but Lily never believed that. Neither did Mia. The drowned man tilted his head slowly, water leaking from his mouth, as if something inside him was still drowning. Then, in a voice that sounded horribly familiar, he spoke. "Mia." Not Lily's voice, her father's. Mia's blood froze solid. The forest around her suddenly changed. The rain vanished. The trees disappeared. Now she was standing beside Blackwater Lake again. Summer night. Warm air. Crickets humming in the distance. The exact night Lily died. Mia looked down at herself and realized she was reliving the memory. Her clothes were dry. Her hands weren't shaking yet. No. Across the dock, Lily stood near the water, crying into her phone. "You promised you'd come pick me up," Lily yelled. "I was alone out here for hours." Mia remembered this fight. Every word of it. Back then, she had lied to everyone, told police Lily slipped into the lake while drunk. But that wasn't what happened. The memory continued moving around her like a nightmare she couldn't stop. Lily stepped backward, terrified, staring at someone standing behind Mia. "Mia," Lily whispered. "Who's that?" Mia slowly turned around. A man stood at the edge of the dock. Tall, thin, face hidden in darkness. Water dripped constantly from his clothes, even though he wasn't in the lake. Mia's stomach twisted violently because she recognized him instantly. Not her father, not a stranger. It was the man from the road, the drowned thing in her back seat, but younger, human, alive. And then the horrifying truth hit her all at once. He had been there the night Lily died, and the night her father disappeared. The memory snapped forward violently. Lily screamed as the man grabbed her ankle and dragged her off the dock into the black water. Mia remembered running forward, but not to save Lily. She ran away. She left her sister drowning in the dark. Mia collapsed to her knees, sobbing, I'm sorry. Then came Lily's voice, directly beside her ear. "You still don't remember everything." Mia turned slowly. Lily stood beside her now, pale and dripping wet, but her expression wasn't sad anymore. It was angry, terrifyingly angry. "You didn't leave me," Lily whispered. Her face twisted unnaturally as tears mixed with lake water. "You pushed me." Silence swallowed the world. Mia's memories crashed back all at once. The fight, the screaming, Lily threatening to expose what really happened to their father, and Mia in blind rage, shoving her backward off the dock. The splash, the silence afterward. The thing in the lake had only finished what Mia started. Then the drowned man smiled wider than any human mouth could, because he was never the killer. Mia confessed everything. 3 days later, she admitted pushing Lily into Blackwater Lake, admitted leaving her there to drown while she drove away in panic. The case that haunted the town for weeks was finally closed, but Mia never stopped screaming about the man from the road, the drowned witness, the thing that watched. Police assumed guilt had shattered her mind until divers searched the lake near where her car was recovered. At the bottom, buried beneath years of black mud, they discovered another vehicle, a rusted truck. Inside it was the skeleton of Mia's father, still wearing his wedding ring. But the horrifying part wasn't the body. It was the driver's door, locked from the outside, meaning someone had trapped him in the truck before it sank. The investigation reopened immediately. Detectives questioned Mia again and again, but she swore she knew nothing about her father's death. Then came the final discovery. Security footage from a gas station, taken the night Mia disappeared onto the abandoned road. The video showed Mia arriving alone, buying coffee, leaving alone. No one else entered the car. No drowned man, no hitchhiker, nothing in the back seat. But just before her car pulled out of frame, the camera caught something almost impossible to notice. For a single frame, someone was already sitting in the passenger seat beside her. A soaking wet girl, smiling directly into the camera, wearing Mia's dead sister's face.